Yes, hope you're all well. Thank you once again for coming back to my channel. I really appreciate it, as ever. I'm really grateful for you being here, so thanks once again. So today I wanted to jump into something which is probably the most important topic in crypto for the next 12 months. It's something I do on a daily basis for people, so this is where I come in and I really bring something to the table for you guys. Because I sit here and I watch sort of social media. You've got all these influencers, and don't get me wrong, I love these guys too. There's nothing wrong with a bit of hopium. That's the reason we all got into this in the first place, with various sort of angles on that, but it really is. No one got into crypto thinking it won't make me much money, I don't want to be involved, right? So I love the hopium. I love the fact that they show the possibilities that brings you guys to the table. I mean, this is what I do for a living, right? I mean, I don't do it so much anymore. I've got quite a successful practice now, and people tend to, I wake up Monday morning and I've got 4 emails and 3 voicemails saying, can you give me a call about helping to make some money? But in the old days, we would give you a call. We, out of the blue, we'd approach you either through your work email channels, through a referral from an existing client, or maybe I had a business development guy back in the day who'd give you a call and say, listen, what we do is we help people make more money and make better use of their savings whilst they're working, and we'd like to come by and see you and tell you all about it. Now, that's essentially what these influencers are doing. They're inviting you to treat yourself to an investment that should make you more money than leaving it in your bank, than spending it on a new car, new guitar, buying a steak dinner, doing whatever you might otherwise have done with it. So I've got absolute respect for them guys, and they serve a really good purpose. But I do see now people getting really carried away the other way. I see people on sort of social media platforms like X going, get ready to buy a Lambo. Get ready, you're a pre-millionaire, you're a pre-billionaire. And I just want to sort of bring everyone down to earth again a little bit, because, and in a good way, in a positive way, because it's about the fact that people are going to get carried away with how much they need. And I just want to show you a couple of things. So before we get into that, as you know, my name's Nick. I am a financial advisor. I'm definitely not your financial advisor, though. Anything I say do in this video, therefore, is not to be taken as financial advice. It's just a bloke sharing his opinion on the internet in the hope that I bring you some value. So getting into it, first off, we always start the page here on that 3 website, showing you the number of transactions going through. I like the graphics, to be perfectly honest. That's why I start on this. But the world is definitely moving a little bit more than it has been recently. There's more transactions going through. This is just about XRP. It's a good website, this, by the way. You can take a look at any of the ledgers, any of the coins. You can see exactly how much is going into all of them. It's a really useful tool to have. But we move through. Where are we in the markets? We're pretty good, aren't we? We're looking pretty damn good at the moment, even if I do say so myself. So you've got Bitcoin sat just shy of, or just over 81 now. We hit 82, depending on which exchange you normally look at, but I think we were just shy of 82 last night, but we hit 82 at some point in the last 24, 12, maybe 36 hours. Not a bad place to be, right? We're only a week after the big change in the US. I won't say what happened, because for some reason YouTube doesn't like me to say that word beginning with E that sounds like erection. So we're in a position where we're only just into this news breaking, and we've already hit all-time highs for Bitcoin. We've got Ethereum back over $3,000. We've got Solana over $200. We've got Dogecoin that's actually overtaken XRP in that list of top 10. Which is great. I don't care. I'm perfectly happy for Dogecoin. 29 cents Dogecoin. Of course, there's an awful lot more Doge out there, and of course, there's no cap on Dogecoin, right? They could go out and create another billion Dogecoin, another trillion Dogecoin if they wanted to. So it's a very different situation. XRP is sitting just below, so just over 59 now. It was over 60 cents when I woke up this morning. I'm in Asia time, so I'm ahead of the US by about 12 hours. But give or take, we were at 60 at some point during my night, probably during the US's Sunday evening, and we're now at 59 cents, which I'm very, very happy with, because that's a 16% return in a week. Look at the whole market. What's done the best over the last week? Nero, first Nero on Ethereum, 98.77% or 98.93, give or take. It's doubled in value in a week. Kronos is the same, Dogecoin is the same, Cardano I had a chat with a friend of mine who won't mind me saying, Martin, I love you, buddy, but he sold his Cardano a couple of months, well, maybe a month back, and flipped it all into XRP. I still think he's made a good decision, don't get me wrong. We have seen Charles Hoskinson coming out to claim he's made some kind of deal with the US government, so I expect some of this is on the back of that. Whether or not that's happened, I don't know. I'm not bothered. But, a rising tide lifts all ships, and we are all owners of ships in this rising tide. I love it when every single one of these goes up. Sui I've got a little bit of myself. Shiba Inu I've got quite a lot of myself. Pepe I've got a bit of myself. They're my gambling coins, if you like. But basically we've seen the whole marketplace pick up, right? In fact, worst performers in the last week are stablecoins. So that gives you a good example of where we're at. Realistically speaking, it's been a great week for crypto. I expect there to be many, many more, which is why this video is coming out right now. So we're going to start off with a little bit, it's not anti-hopium. It's definitely dealing with hopium because I want you all to make enough money to make this a problem. But there is a problem with making a shed ton of money over the space of a short space of time. I'm going to draw your attention to a couple, if not more than a couple of examples. This is just Business Insider. I don't even know when this article's from. I googled it March 24th. It was when there was about to be a big Powerball, 935 million, a very big Powerball, and they wanted to just raise attention with a word of caution. And what they're basically doing is they're showing you people who spend every last penny and lose it all in a very short space of time. You've got a couple, I can tell by the newspaper article there, it's pound sterling sign anyway, but it's a UK one, this one. A couple who spent 1.8 million and then their life fell apart. You move through, you've got a guy who won $16 million, and apparently it ended with his own brother putting a hit out on him. Come on, guys. These are massive words of warning, but this guy is another one. Martin and Kay Tot won a $5 million jackpot, but lost the ticket. Now, it's difficult to lose a ticket in crypto, but it's very easy to lose your keys. Be wary, guys. It's also very easy to lose money on exchanges. It's very easy to send it to a wrong wallet. There are 1,000 things that can go wrong with crypto, which is why I'm still not overly comfortable with it. I sent money from my own exchange, which I bought. I bought a few more XRP, Render, and XLM yesterday, and I was sending about 5,000 XRP to my hard wallet, and I don't care what anyone says. I still send a couple of dollars worth first, the minimum amount I can send. I watch it go through, then I repeat the transaction with a larger amount, and there is a time when you send 5,000 XRP, there's about a 5-minute lag between, I know the XRP ledger claims 5 seconds, but we're dealing with exchanges as well and receiving it at the other end. So the XRP side took 5 seconds, but it also takes about 5 minutes for that to actually go from processing to sending on the exchange and things like that. There's a lag, and I spent that 5 minutes uncomfortable, shall we say, because that's the way the world is, right? Nobody wants to accidentally lose 3,000 or 4,000 bucks themselves. It's not a good thing to do, no matter how you do it. No one wants to buy a new car and hit a lamppost the first day. No one wants to buy a new laptop and drop a coffee all over it the first day. Everything comes with a risk, and so that's one of the big risks. Make sure you know exactly what you are doing. Practice. Send yourself some, whatever coin it is. I'm mainly an XRP channel, but this is dealing with profits from what's going to be an almighty bull run for nigh on all the cryptocurrencies. Whatever is your coin, send yourself whatever coin you have, $5 from the coin to whichever one would be your chosen stablecoin. USDC, USDT, whatever it might be. Send yourself $5 and send it back again. You'll see a few things. You use things like USDC, it goes to the Ethereum network, and guess what? I did it my first ever time. I sent myself, it was about $5 or something, and then I wanted to send it back, and I didn't have enough Ethereum in my wallet to pay the gas fees. It's all a learning curve. You learn new things. Actually, this morning when I was sending money from my exchange, because it was a larger amount than I normally send about a maximum of £1,000 worth. I'm still dealing in pounds. It popped up and it wanted me to it was only quick, but anti-money laundering, know your client, KYC, we need a photo. And I just did a screenshot off the laptop. It wasn't a difficult thing, but it makes you realise, what if you were about to send that back because you desperately wanted your money and you've not done your KYC with the exchange that you use, or you've not looked at what the transaction limits are. You try and selling yourself $10,000 and it goes, no, you've only ever done KYC enough to send $1,000 a day. You've got to send your money every day for a week, every day for 10 days, once a week. You can send $1,000. All the exchanges have different rules. Make sure you're familiar with these things, guys. We are going to see a lot of money in the coming months. And a lot of money depends who you are. To some people, a lot of money is $1 billion. To some people, a lot of money is $1,000. Right? If $1,000 is what you have spare every month, after you've paid your bills, your mortgage, your rent, your kids' school fees, your insurances, whatever it is you pay, if $1,000 is what you have to spend every month and you're going to get that for free, that's a lot of money. Doesn't matter how much you consider a lot of money, we are going to see a lot of money coming through. And I don't want anyone to lose any of it. So just be careful with these things. Sharon Turabassi won $10 million, but eventually returned to her old life. Again, I'm not going to read these stories. I'll scroll through slowly so you can go back and pause the video and read them if you want. Evelyn Adams gambled it all away in Atlantic City. I mean, that does sound like fun in fairness, but it's not the kind of fun any of us want to be stuck with, right? Losing every last penny of it. People do this. People do this. It happens all the time. It happens all the time to ordinary everyday folk who come into more money than they could ever imagine. People do it. So that's the warning sign. I'm just going to scrolly go through this just so you can stop these and have a read of these stories if you wanted to take a look at them. And there's one down here that I remember. This guy, Michael Carrick, he was Michael Carroll. He was a British guy. He was a garbage guy. And he won a lot of money at the time. So £9.7 million today, but this was going back to 2002, so you can double that today, maybe even more. That was mega money at the time. And I remember he bought this huge house in this lovely part of the world near where he lived, and all the neighbours were complaining because he turned his big 1,000 square metre garden, he turned it into a racetrack and things like this. His friends were racing crappy old cars around and creating noise, and everybody hated him. It was hilarious. He lost every last penny. He ended up working back either as a garbage man or something similar. There's time and time again. Just jump on Google. You'll see these stories. People lose every last penny all the time. Now, that's the word of warning. I just wanted to get that across. Next point, and this is more the title of the video. Yeah, you don't need as much as you think to have a great life. Again, this is me. I've done a really simple spreadsheet for you. There's nothing more than a spreadsheet here. Portfolio value in column A, highlighted there in green. I know you can't see my mouse on this one. Treat yourself 20% in column C. It doesn't have to be 20%, depending on the money. Mine will be 20%. I don't need anywhere near like 20%. But treat yourself 20%. Remainder is what you've got left after spending your 20% in column E. Income from withdrawal in column G. And I've used 5%, which is about as good as you'll get from a bank's fixed deposit. I doubt you guys will use fixed deposits. Most people who are listening now are relatively savvy when it comes to the crypto world. You probably use something more to the tune of staking or AMMs. They come with a risk as well. I definitely wouldn't put all my money into things like this. I wouldn't put most of it. I've done one here, income withdrawal at 7.5% as well. So column G is if you want to be the most boring you can ever be and buy government bonds and fixed deposits at the bank. That's basically what you're going to get 5% from. You could turn that around and maybe say that would be my net profits in a real estate investment, something like that. You can do whatever you want with it. But then the 7.5 is the one that's slightly more aggressive in column I. It's just showing you what you get if you go a little bit more adventurous with your investment choices. I'll make more than 7.5% from mine. My average return is 9% a year on investments. In actual fact, if you stuck it into the S&P 500, it's returned about 9.5% a year on average since 1957. So there's a good one. You will get down years. You'll get some years where it makes 20% and some years where it makes minus 10. But you'll average 9%, 9.5% a year. Let's use 7.5 as a more cautious one because you want to keep some in these fixed deposits to make sure you never lose it. And you can have something a bit more adventurous. So let's take a look at this spreadsheet. I've done some colours just to make life easier for you. Very simple. Column C is all highlighted in yellow because I want you to spend that money. I want you to treat yourself. Maybe not 20% if you've got a huge amount, but 10%, 5%. Treat yourself to some. Nobody in the world wants to win, earn, grow, return, whatever you want to call it, a vast, vast quantity of money and never get to enjoy a penny of it. Nobody. I'm the most cautious guy in the world. I'm the most emotionless guy in the world when it comes to investments because I've been doing this a long time now. I'm about 20 years in. I've had some really, really big wins over the years. I've learned my lessons. I've spent my money where I shouldn't have spent it. I bought a new car that I then decided a year later was a terrible purchase and sent it back again. There's 1,000 things that can go wrong. So treat yourself a little bit. I've used 20% as a number to show you that you perhaps don't need as much as you think. Now, oranges, they're not so good. So if you're looking down column A, this is, I don't know what coins you hold. I don't know if you've got, let's say, for example, all Bitcoin, and you only expect to double your money between now and the all-time high of the future, 6, 12 months from now. I don't know if you've got meme coins, expect to make 100,000 turn, and I also don't know if you've got $100 worth because that's all you could buy, or if you've got $100,000 worth right now, or $1 million worth right now. I don't know who you are. But I'm using these numbers, and the simple one is, if it's in orange, I think it's unlikely to be enough to retire you. That doesn't mean it's not enough to give you one hell of a lovely bonus. Say $10,000 in the bank would be lovely. If you've only put 2,000 in and you make 10,000, you're going to be over the moon, right? But I wanted just to do this. I've used the colours as simply as I can. And over here on column G and column I are where we're looking at the incomes you should expect to see. And again, orange, not so great, green, better. I've used $60,000. 60,000 US dollars is about the average income in the US. Not everyone earns $60,000. Not everyone earns less. Not everyone earns more. It's the average. Realistically speaking, though, I think if you could see $60,000 a year coming in from your investments, it would be enough to give you a mediocre life for the rest of your life without ever actually having to work again. And so that's why I begin at $60,000. For me, could I retire on $60,000? Yeah, where I live, I could. I wouldn't necessarily enjoy it, but $5,000 a month US would go a reasonably long way. To give you an example, my accommodation costs me $1,000. That's because I live in a cheap part of the world. I'm in the Philippines. I've got a 4-bedroom detached house built by the US Navy. It's very, very good for $1,000 a month, if I'm honest. I've got a nice garden. I've got a balcony to have a beer or a coffee in the morning. It's what I want. It's all I need. I don't need these ridiculous great big houses in Hollywood Boulevard or anything like that. Beverly Hills overlooking Hollywood, whatever you want to call it. I've got what I want. So I live a cheap life in terms of expenditure compared to income. I invest the rest. And $60,000 a month is enough for me. Sorry, $60,000 a year. It wouldn't be a better life than now. I currently spend more than that, or maybe about that. If I take away my investments, I probably spend that on groceries, bills, kids' school. That's about right. Yeah, so $60,000 would just about do me. I wouldn't retire if I got enough for $60,000. But where we are with this is it's a rough, approximate amount of money that most people could get by on, and I think is probably the minimum you could take and call it full retirement. Most of us won't retire. Most of you guys listening are younger than me. I'm 43. Most people, I think, in my audience are between about 25 and 35. So you've got a long way left to be retired. So most people wouldn't look at retiring. So it's probably the other way. $60,000 as a residual income coming in forever and a day and continuing to do your work will retire you spectacularly earlier than most of your peers. And that's probably what we're looking at here. So let's go back to this. Really, really simple. I don't want to go on all day. We're nearly 19 minutes in. Let's take this number. So depending on column A, depending on what you've got in your portfolio, yeah, let's say you come out of this with 100,000 US dollars. 100,000 US dollars. You treat yourself with 20,000. What are you going to get with 20,000? Possibly a decent car. You're not going to get a Lamborghini. You might get yourself a brand new car of some form. You might pay a down payment and then take hire purchase on the rest. You might get yourself a good second-hand car. You could probably pick up a decent 5-year-old car for 20,000 bucks. It's not going to change your life, but hey, we all need a little treat. Maybe your treat is a trip to Cancun. Maybe your treat is a trip to Europe. Whatever you wanted to do with your money, whatever you want to do, take some and treat yourself. But that's going to give you $80,000 as a remainder. It's not going to change your life, guys. $4,000 a year at 5%, $7,500 a year. Don't get me wrong, what would $7,500 do? It would pay your rent on a small apartment, it would pay half your rent, it would cover your bills, it gives you that bit of leeway every year that you can spend some money and enjoy it a little bit. You know, $7,500, we're talking about 680 bucks a month, aren't we? Something like that. We'd all welcome $680 a month more spending money, right? What I would probably do is I'd let the crypto market crash around me and I'd buy $680 a month in dollar cost averaging as we go down and back up into the next bull run. But it's not going to change your life. Let's move down a bit. I don't know how much you've got. Let's go for $250,000. Treat yourself for 50 grand, 200 grand left. We're getting closer now, right? $18,750 a year at 7.5%, $10,000 at 5%. I think with that much you go a bit more aggressive. $18,750 a year. It's more than $1,000 a month. That would pay my rent for me for the rest of my life for free. That's kind of life changing. It's not life changing in the way we mean. It's not life changing in the let's all go and buy a Lambo, let's buy ourselves that dream home overlooking Beverly Hills or whatever. But free rent, free mortgage payments for the rest of your life. Not bad, right? Bit further on. This is where we start to see a change. So if you've got a portfolio at the end of this bull run worth $500,000 US, 500,000, treat yourself to 100 grand. That's one hell of a treat. I probably would treat myself back here again to 20 or 30,000, but you do what you like with it. You're leaving yourself 400,000, 5% you got $20,000. At 7.5% you've got $37,500. That's about $3,000 a month, guys. Okay, you can knock off a bit for taxes and things like that, but give or take $3,000 a month. Not bad. If somebody offered you a $3,000 a month pay rise right now, you would consider that one hell of a win, no matter who you are and what your job is. You know, I earn, give or take $10,000 a month US. $3,000 as a pay rise would be a 30% pay rise to me. I'd be over the moon with that, right? That's how life works. It's good. I'm showing you don't necessarily need these magnificent, amazing figures. It's still not retirement money though. So let's go down to the first level. I think you need to be coming out of this, especially if you're younger than me. If you're a 25-year-old person, if you're a 30-year-old person, 40-year-old person even, let's be really honest, I couldn't, this is about me. $1.5 million. This isn't what I expect to make, by the way. This isn't what I want at the end of this bull run. It's kind of a double-edged sword with me. I'm not sure if I will make that much, and I'm not sure if I did make that much, if it would be enough. But what I'm talking about is as a worst-case scenario. Let's say something came out on the news today, and it was the New World Order, and they said, by the way, guys, we're buying everyone's crypto back off you now. You're never going to be allowed to own it again. This is what you get. Well, $1.5 million would just about do me. Because I could spend $300,000. I wouldn't spend the $300,000. I'd maybe spend $30,000 of it, but I could spend the $300,000. I'm left with $1.2 million. As a 5% income, that makes me the average annual income in the US, give or take, 60 grand a year. $60,000 a year, I could live on comfortably, but not. I would survive, not thrive, if you like. It wouldn't just be survival, but it wouldn't be thriving either. It would be a steady, enjoyable standard of living. So I spend about that right now. I pay my rent, I pay my kids' school fees. That means I live in a cheap part of the world. I go out twice a week to play golf and have beers. I take the family on a holiday, a big one once a year, normally back to the UK where I live or where I'm from for about 4 or 5 weeks. But we also maybe we did 2 weeks in Phuket this year. At Christmas, I might go to one of the islands in the Philippines or maybe one of the islands around the region. It cost me a couple of $1,000, but $60,000 a year would do that for me. $112,500 would definitely do that for me. Although I don't think that number's right. But let's go 75,000. I think I've skipped a column. But either way, $75,000 would do that for me. Moving down through the spreadsheet, If you come out of this with $2 million, you've got, give or take, 400,000 or 1.6 million left after you spent your 400 you wouldn't spend for. 80 grand a year, 1.5 million. Does that make sense to us? Well, yeah, it does. 1.6. Yeah, I'm forgetting that we're spending a lot more here. Yeah, we probably wouldn't spend that. If you come out of this with $3 million, trust me, $3 million is enough to retire you very comfortably for the rest of your life. I have these conversations. I see these people posting their dream house. I'm going to buy this $3 million, this $5 million, this $10 million house. If you've got enough that you get that, great. I am over the moon pleased for you. But what I'm here for is the people that haven't got that much. And I'm here to say you don't have to wait till you get that much. If you've got $3 million, and even if you spend 600,000 of it, which would probably be foolish, blowing that on whatever you wanted to spend it on, partying, holidays, vacations, buying a Lambo that you regret, or whatever it might be, but you could spend that much, still be left with $2.4 million, $120,000 a year at the lowest rate of return, the safest rate of return, is a fantastic amount. Stick your money in the 5%, get your $120,000 a year, live comfortably for a few years on 80, save the other 40, buy you back into crypto. If you put $40,000 a year into crypto for the next 4 years, how's the next bull run going to look for you? Pretty damn good, I imagine. Then you'll do the same again. Or you go a bit more aggressive, $225,000, guys. $225,000 a year. We could all do very well on $225,000 a year. Okay, we go down to your 10 millions, your $20 million. If you've got that much, good for you. I'm dead pleased with you. You'll never need to work again. Most people listening, I suspect, will not be there. You'll be sort of around there in column $900,000, maybe down to here, column 18, 1.5 million at the end of this bull run. What I'm hoping to show you is that you'll get enough back to live a very comfortable life. Pause the video, take a look at these numbers. I'll post a link to it if you like it for the spreadsheet just so you can use it. Guys, that's all I wanted to say. I hope that's brought a little bit of value to you. Thank you very much for listening to me for 25 minutes, 27 minutes even. I really do appreciate it. If you liked what I said today, guys, please do like and subscribe. I'm really, really grateful for that. Please drop me a comment. Any comment you like. Let me know. What's your number going to be? How much do you need? Or how much do you think you're going to get back from this bull run? That'll be a really interesting thing to let me know. Guys, in the meantime, I thank you once again. Please, please, please like and subscribe to the channel. We'll speak again soon. Have a great week ahead. Nick.